welcome back to Beyond the Game, where we go deeper than the highlights and into the journey. Today, we're sitting down with the East Forsyth wide receiver, one of the most decorated players out of the Winston-Salem, Greensboro area, the two-time All Northwest and East West All Star, and he was selected to the 2015 All State team. Welcome to the show, Nique Mart.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Appreciate you for getting on here with us, man. But bro, can you just talk about how you got into football, man? Like what really drove you into playing football and like how you got into it.
To be honest, it was, my parents. I have a lot of cousins. It's like 12 of us who all grew up together. So, our fathers, our parents, mothers, kind of initiated us going to the sport. My parents, like I believe all parents, saw that I had a God-given talent for it. Started playing football since I was 5 at the Falcons. Y'all don't know. I don't think y'all know Dirty Birds, Kelly Green and Navy Blue. Um, and yeah, so that's how I pretty much got into it. Started from a young age.
All right. So can you talk about what it was like for you, your experience coming in the East or like going to East Forsyth?
Yeah. All right. So what's crazy? The journey was a little different. So, being and I'm not being cocky vain, but being 100, I was always a superstar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Playing football from little league, and then going to high school. You're a nobody. You know what I'm saying? So I never forget freshman year. My cousin Krishan Springs. It was like our first practice, and we was all in the gym working out and stuff like that. And Willard, or no, I think Coach Kellen came and got him. Was like, "Yeah, you coming with the varsity, all right?" So I was like,
Mhm.
"Okay, my boy going varsity," but I stayed JV. So then we came in, got our numbers, and I'll never forget, bro, Coach Willis, to this day, my dog, I rock with him. He was scrolling past the numbers, and I just kept seeing the numbers go up higher and higher. He passed 1, 2, 3. I'm like, ah. So he was like, yeah, I got 31. I said, 31? I said, 31?
Playing receiver is crazy.
You feel me? A receiver is crazy. And this would make it worse. So I came in playing running back.
Yeah.
You know, Stu was like, nah, we're gonna change you to receiver. So
Hmm.
boom, that's when, I switched receivers. I'm thinking like, I always had a number lower than 5. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't even
Yeah.
going for that. So, he was like 31. I was like, coach, you passed 1 through 5. Like he was like,
Everything that
yo,
I'm trying to get.
you feel me? He was like, nah, those are already taken. So I ain't gonna lie, I was a little salty about that because it's like, dang, like I never had no number over, like I said, 7 for real. So that whole transition of understanding, like, yeah, you got to start from scratch was kind of a big adjustment for me. And then one day, someone changed his mind. I ain't gonna go into details, but someone changed his mind, and I came back, and he was like, "Bring me your sticker." Came back, and next thing you know, I had number 2 for JV my freshman year.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's that transition of having realized I had to start over kind of, was an eye opener.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, we all went through that process. That's how I ended up with 11. I thought I was gonna get 10. I just had to
You
take
feel
what I
31 is
had. But
crazy.
31 is crazy though. That
Insane.
but then your sophomore year, you end up playing varsity. But you only played in 7 games. So like what was it kind of like? Because for me, my sophomore year, like I was on that 8 quarters like cusp of like
Hmm.
playing just varsity, but like I was gonna get real limited time
Yeah.
between like you said Zach, like Byron Keenan, all them. Like I was gonna get limited time, and so like what was it like for you, like being a sophomore playing varsity, but like not getting that much playing time?
Um, to be real, it was having to understand that I had to wait my turn.
Yeah.
And also like I wish if I could go back, I would have just went straight varsity. And what's crazy, so I was a little nervous at first because going JV and then jumping straight to varsity. You know what I'm saying? It was never a doubt in my skill, but like, just nervous,
Yeah.
never. So especially coming in behind, I ain't gonna lie, freshman year we had that 2012 team. Like they was
Bro,
hitters.
Ace.
You feel me?
Oh yeah.
Ace,
Yeah.
DJ, but I'm also thinking of like the defense,
The
you
defense,
know.
yeah.
Chris Blair kind of scarred me, you know what I'm saying, the
Mm.
way they used to. So I was a little nervous at first, like no cap going up to varsity. But if I could go back, I would have just jumped straight to varsity. He gave me an
Mm.
option, was like, do you want to move up or you want to stay down? And this is where I was like, I was kind of soft because I told myself if I could get this number, then I'm gonna go straight to varsity. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go straight to varsity. So when he asked me, I was like, yeah, I want number 5. And one of my former teammates kind of took that jump from me. So I was like, nah, fuck that, bro. Like, because I already knew where it was going, bro. I did
Yeah.
not. That's why I was saying the soft mentality of like, I should have just went up. But
Yeah, I feel it.
yeah. So in that transit, I stayed JV, played like 7 games, did my thing. And what's crazy, I still won. Well, I can't remember the thing. Like JV of the year or something like that with
Yeah,
7
yeah,
games, which let me know like I should have just went to varsity. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But getting acclimated to the varsity and what kind of motivated me to just say F it, I'm gonna just go to varsity was Christian Bill. My boy
Bill,
was, I
yeah.
never forget, bro. Like my boy was a freshman. You
Came in
feel
freshman, yeah.
me? Man, playing varsity, it was the Reagan game. It was the Reagan game, and like he was doing his thing, like, and I was like,
Crazy.
you feel me? I'm like, shoot, little bro doing it. And this before me and him got tight, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, shoot, little bro doing like F it. I'm gonna go straight varsity. So that's when I got the transition to varsity. I had to feel my way around. You know what I'm saying? Again, it
Mm.
wasn't necessarily that I wasn't as talented as the older crowd. It was just confident in myself.
Yeah.
And towards the end, I started to develop that. They started putting me in on kick return, punt return, and that was my thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once I started feeling comfortable with there, comfortable there, that's when I started, molding into the player that transitioned into junior year.
But you talk about Christian, like we talk about the competition. Like at the end of the day, like we all like everybody on the team was pretty cool. We was all tight for real. But it was like when we put on the pads and we hit the field, like we know like
Oh yeah,
it's go time.
it's
Like
comp for sure.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
comp for sure. Like, bruh, Christian, to this day, even if, Lord would have let me go to the NFL, he would probably been like one of the most talented players that I've ever played with. Like, to sit there and watch how he like made plays game was like phenomenal. And to
but
be a
this
part of
this is
that.
coming from a guy that like really, bro, really talking to Jarrell, bro. You really like showed us as receivers, like, because I played quarterback freshman year or whatever,
Mhm.
but when I was making that transition to receiver, like you really showed me, like, bro, it's not even like, yes, you got to get open, but bro, what are you gonna do when you get the ball in your
When you get
hands?
the
Like,
ball, and that's the
it's
thing,
always the after the play,
bro.
bro. Like,
And I think that's why I was as versatile as I was because you had the team like you had Christian, you had Nique, you had Twani Porter, you had Twani Ace. So you watching all these players and it's like we have
yeah,
so much talent. When you
you
get
got to
the
find somewhere to
ball,
fit in. You
you
got to
feel me?
find
Like
somewhere to fit
when
in.
you get the ball, you gotta make it happen, or
Yeah,
you don't know when the next time you're gonna touch that pill.
yeah.
Like I said, Christian, that was one, you know what I'm saying? I was two. So it was definitely friendly competition, brotherly competition, because it's like I might get a pass, don't score it, and then Christian get
Hey,
the
he getting the ball.
ball and he break
It's
for
a tud.
70.
Yeah,
You
it's a
feel me? So
tud.
it's
Yeah,
like I done
yeah.
seen
You
this
got it.
man just like
Yeah,
squeeze through the tiniest spots and holes, and it's like, yo, like
and when he gone, he gone. Like you, yeah,
gone. You might as well
yeah,
kiss your goodbye. So
yeah.
yeah, bro.
But bro, like then you come in junior year, bro. Your efficiency was crazy, bro. You had 47 catches for 1,000 yards and 13 touchdowns. Like, like that's some stupid numbers.
And yeah, when I heard about that, because I didn't really put that into context until my cousin told me,
like, bro, a
yeah,
thousand yards on 47 catches,
yeah, yeah,
and then turn that into 13 touchdowns, bro. Like, yeah, like, so
yeah.
what was that? What was that season like for you? Like, what would you say clicked for you Like, what was that season like for you, your junior
To,
year?
to be honest, it was fun, bro. Like my cousin Nique, number 4, we never played, so we always played for the same team, little league team, but I never played with him. And so, he was telling me his senior year, my junior year, like, yo, I want to transfer. Woo, woo. So having him come over, as well as seeing the team that we had, and I think what really clicked was, at preseason we would have the 707 tournaments,
Mm-hmm.
and when we was at Gifford that year, and to see like how well we clicked as far as like players and
Oh, yeah.
coaches and just the camaraderie, I was like, all right, boom. I
Hey,
know
I
that.
don't hold on. I don't mean to cut you off. I don't mean to cut you off. But like being, because I was playing quarterback that year, so that as a freshman, so I got to see that varsity team, bro. Like with Gabe Price, like Carson was 5'10", but that the way he could spin that shit was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
Like that team, that was probably one of the best teams. Like it's crazy to say, but I think that team was better than the team we had sophomore year. That's crazy, but but
yeah.
go back to
Nah,
what you were saying. Go back to what you were saying.
I mean, I'm gonna put a pin in the competition for the sophomore year, but yeah, bro, like when you see when I saw like the camaraderie that we had, bro, it was like I know that because we have so many ballers, so many playmakers, like I have to make a play. Whenever my number's called, I have to make a play. And like so as far as the junior year, bro, it just came as fun. It was more fun, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, you had Brian Gentry on the other side of you. Like
Yeah. So like me, BG on opposite side with my boy Ray. Ray, a lot of people don't
Ray,
really know
bro.
Ray was the
Everybody
dog on
six
that
four,
team.
bro. Everybody 6'3", 6'4", bro.
Ray,
Like,
Ray, Ray was definitely Kelsey. He was our Travis Kelsey. You know what I'm saying? Because he was always reliable. You know, rather that's blocking, catching the pass when he needed. Like he was reliable, and so having and then Carson, I always used to call him Johnny Manziel because he was a
the way
dog
he
like
spin
Carson.
that, the way he spin that
Come
ball,
on
bro.
now, and so like our relationship as far as like quarterback to receiver developed my freshman year on my freshman year on JV.
Mm.
And so, when it was my time to come to varsity, he knew what I was capable of. And I think that's where it was like, all right, boom. Hut Nique over there
Get on the
somewhere.
ball, yeah. Get
And
on.
he
Just
knew that I was just gonna be there. And so I think that's where that came from as far as like execution. You know, BG being the talented receiver he was, allowed me to have a lot of the freedom, that I had. I got a lot of one-on-one matches because they see a 6'3" DK Metcalf receiver, and it's
built
like,
crazy,
you feel me? Like,
running,
and
running
then you
4-4 though.
come on
Like
now, run like they like, yeah, we got to guard him, and this is my my junior year, so nobody really knows me. I mean, I woke him up soon though,
yeah,
but
47 catches for 1,000 yards
yeah.
is stupid.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just let it be known for those who watch this, bruh. Make sure your grades is where they need to be, because for me to have 47 catches for 1,000 yards and 13 touchdowns, y'all could tell what held me back. So anytime I have to tell anybody anything or give them some inspiration, to make sure your books is where they need to be, because with those type of accolades, I was definitely Alabama big
Mm,
D1, talent. You just call it for what it is. But
mm.
because, I was a knucklehead, a jock, whatever the case may be, I sold myself short. Looking back on it, I was hurt. Now I have the ability to tell the next generation, the next talented Nique Martin. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
Make sure that your grades are where they need to be, because you don't want to have a amazing season, have all these accolades and can't show nothing for it. But yeah, for as far as junior year, it was just fun. It was fun.
But so, bro, like you. So then you go. You talk about like you being versatile or whatever. Going into senior year, you get you ended up playing a little bit of running back. You and Christian, you ended up with like 37 carries that year.
Mhm.
Like how how was that for you? Like what was it like really like playing running back and being in the backfield with Christian? Like you and Christian, like
Man, I start off by saying, for one, I should have been. I wish I would have been more vocal, because we should have been doing stuff like that. Like when you have that 1 and 2 combo, bro, you utilize it as much as possible. And not saying that our coaches didn't, but I should have been in the backfield more often. I should have had a wildcat. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as versatile, like Christian had most of the specialty um formations as far as wildcats and things of that, which very deserved. But I also think I should have had those positions as well. I should have had my own wildcat. I should have been able to, well, that's about it. Be in the backfield and stuff, because when you put at the time, we had Sid and Zach at receivers, and we had our other receivers. But having me and Christian in that wildcat form, it is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know what's about to
yeah.
happen or who's going to get the ball. Like as far as me, and Noah is a great quarterback. In my opinion, he helped me get my yard. But
He was very like he didn't have the most arm strength, but like the way bro read the field, like he was cerebral. Like as far as like breaking down the like
yeah,
yeah. But go ahead.
and I like the fact that he was just like, I believed he was just on some plays. Nique over there, and
Over
he's just
there,
gonna throw it. Like he's
yeah.
just gonna throw it. So
That's-
I definitely like that. But coming back to me and Christian, with me being a receiver, you got a lot of elements involved as far as the O line got to block, the quarterback got to get his reads. It's a lot. So when you take and put me in the backfield, that negates all of that. And
mhm.
you give me the ball quick, I can make a play. So I think like I wish I would have been more vocal in that aspect, because I think I left a lot of touchdowns on the field in that way by not being as vocal. But yeah, me and Christian like on the same field was insane. Like
Yeah, no, I say sophomore year. That's because y'all senior year. That was my sophomore year. I was playing receiver, man. I played a little bit, but I had the best seat in the house. Like watching that, bro. Let's really get into it. All right. Let's really get into
I
it.
feel like I know where this is going, man.
My sophomore year, man. So we go. Were we undefeated going into that game?
Yeah, we was undefeated. Come on, we ain't lose not
I'm
one.
talking 15-0. All right. So first of all, before we get into it, let's go back a little bit, bro. I genuinely say to like the athletes, from the area of Winston-Salem now, especially the ones at East Forsyth, like y'all need to figure out like learn about the players that like really laid the foundation. Cause like people like Nique, like Krishan, you start looking at you go all the way back to Danny O'Brien, like the people that
Mm-hmm.
came through East Forsyth really
Right.
laid the foundation for them to really be able to like cause bro, it was at one point where recruiters like I'm talking we had Alabama, we had Oregon, Georgia, like coming through the school and they really saying they only going to Charlotte and then they come into East Forsyth and that was it. Like
Yeah, for sure.
and
For
so
sure.
and so it's really like y'all really I'm appreciative of it too because like although ended up tearing my ACL my junior and senior year like getting the recognition that I started to get my sophomore year and then going into my junior year like it was crazy but y'all all right so we go 15-0 right the infamous Mallet Creek game man the
FTC
like
to
just
this day.
yeah
FTC to this day.
I want you to like that I played in the first playoff game. I forgot who we played. It didn't even
Uh,
matter. I
it
definitely
was a
did not
Memphis.
get in. Yeah, okay. Mallet Creek, I'm cold as hell over there in my pads watching the game. What was that game like for you, fam? Somebody that was playing in it? Like, we were up at half. We ended up going into overtime and losing. You talk to me. What was your experience like in that game? Because this is probably like this has been called like the best game like that's ever been played in the state. Like one of the best games like of the decade, century, like you name it. So like You speak on it.
Well, for starters, FTC.
For sure.
But that game, to be honest, if it's hard to believe, but I really don't remember a lot of that game, and I think the reason for that is because so I'm an anime guy, and especially sports anime, they talk about a zone. You know what I'm
Yeah, you
saying?
went stupid.
And I was in a zone to
You
the
went
point
stupid.
where when we lost, I couldn't cry because I literally like left everything on the field. Um, but I was in a zone, bro, and so it's like I get bits and pieces of the game. You know what I'm saying? But as far as just being in that moment, bro, I never forget. You know, we warming up and stuff, and I didn't know how big of a game it really was until
What?
we was warming up. You know how we had the pre-warm ups and stuff.
Well, I'm out there warming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And so
yeah.
I'm looking up at the baseball field and I'm just seeing charter buses. Just buses, like the gang. Like I'm looking up on the hill. It's people on the hill.
There's
Like
never
it's
been more
people
people
around.
at an East Forsyth game, at
Bruh,
least that I've seen.
it's people on the track. The stands is jumping.
It's
Like
packed.
the stands is
People by the
jumping.
scoreboard.
Bruh,
People,
like
every
it's
bro.
crazy. So like when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is real. This is
This,
this is
yeah.
like this is like one of them ones.
They came to see a
So
show.
to kick it off, and what's crazy, I never like whenever we play somebody, like I wasn't nervous or nothing like that. And to be honest, for as big of a game as it was for Mallet Creek, I wasn't nervous. Like it
Mm.
was just another Friday night for me. Like I didn't care about their stars. I didn't care that they DB had X, Y, and Z accolades because at this point I'm established. I'm not Nique Mart. I'm thing two, number two. I don't care who you are.
Probably the best receiver in the state.
You feel me? So like I'm really on some like it's go time. But I never forget, we called Ringo, which was the little bubble
Hmm.
screen to Christian. And this what like woke me up, like, okay, it's real. Man, they threw the ball to Christian. When I say my boy
He
got
went
smacked,
nowhere. Went nowhere.
nowhere. The
I'm
first
talking about
play,
he broke like 3 tackles though,
nowhere though.
and
But
went
like,
nowhere.
I'm talking about smack, smack, and I'm like, oh, so like, okay, this is what they own. So
But I will say that I think the way that they focused on Christian was the reason that allowed
I
you to
was
go so
so
crazy.
yeah. And that's what messed them up because they really was on some y'all gonna have to beat us in the air.
Yeah,
That's where
they
y'all
thought Christian
messed
was the
up at.
only good player on the
Yeah,
team.
yeah,
Like
that's where y'all messed up at. Y'all don't get it
they
twisted.
realized we were some real football
Yeah,
players.
facts. And so I'm gonna put a pin in that right quick. But when you hear the other side of like the Mallet Creek players, they have you ever heard of Mallet Creek talk about that game?
Nah, not really.
So I was told by Krishan because he played with some Mallet Creek players.
Mm.
And he was like coming from, Charlotte's in the city. And it was like they was nervous because they came to, I guess, quote unquote, the
Country,
country.
the
Yeah, so
country,
they
yeah,
like,
for
what
real.
what the heck kind of country place is this? And
Yeah.
then, East, we got that
Oh,
dome type effect, like that dip.
yeah,
So I can only imagine them coming from the
yeah.
city and then they come to East and it's like, what the freak going on? You know what I'm saying? So they told us though that they was like, yeah, they didn't take me as serious. Their whole mission was to delete Christian. And
Mm.
that's what gave me the ability to go off the way I did. Um, Back to the whole they smack Christian or whatnot. It's like, all right, it's game time. So I think that's probably the first time I was like nervous, like, okay, we about to have to fight. Because this whole season, I never seen Christian really get hit like
Yeah,
that. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Christian able to dance his way out of almost anything. The man was Houdini. So to
I
see him get
swear.
for real, so to see him get hit like that, I was like, all right, bet. I think when I start getting put at ease a little bit was when Said scored.
He's,
Because at
it
that
was so
time,
easy for him though.
yeah,
Like
at that time we couldn't really get nothing moving, and then we had that big play Said scored. So then I was like, I bet it's go time. So once I start feeling the game out and stuff like that, that's when it was over. I don't know why they kicked me the ball, but
that kick return was crazy.
they kicked me the ball. And what's crazy, my dad told me the backstory behind that. um I guess he got in contact with one of the coaches or whatnot, but I was like one of the first people in a long time that ever took a kick return back on Mallet Creek
What,
for
Krishan?
teams on teams, like for real.
Yeah.
Like, so he was saying that they didn't believe in me, and they said kick it to number 2, I believe. They was like
He's
kick it to a
stupid.
yeah, so they was
Kick the
like kick
ball
it
out
to.
of bounds.
That was one play that I do remember. So like I'm back there and
Stupid.
whatnot. I'm locked in, and I'm like, they're not gonna kick it to me. They're
They
not
kick.
gonna kick it to. Oh, they kicking it to me. Oh, they really kicked it to me. So once I got it, I can see the field right now. I'm on the right side, and I'm running, and something was just like go left. So as soon as I go left, I just see a big hole, like just like oh shit. So once I like
Yeah.
broke through
Yeah.
the hole, and you can see it on the play, like once I broke through the hole, I saw Krishan. And so once I broke into the hole,
Mm.
I'm like, yo, this is really happening. So I'm like I'm running, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take this ball back. I'm gonna take it to the crib. That was probably the most exciting part of the game to me because it was like, I always took kick returns back, but like for how big this game was, and I would have thought that they would have had more respect for me because I think I had like what 7, 8 returns or something like that.
Yeah, that year, like
Yeah,
you had,
yeah. I was going
yes,
crazy on kick returns, so for them to kick it to me and I made them pay because they didn't kick it to me no more the rest of the game. So
yeah.
that one time they kicked it to me and I took it back, I was like, all right, oh yeah, I'm in, I'm locked in, like f that. So then after that I came and scored my second touchdown on the pass. I think it was a slant. We was by the goal line or a little
Mm-hmm.
mini post or whatnot. Score right there, and my whole thing was like the shush the crowd or whatnot. So scored the second time, and then I knew I was really in my element because I always like the spin move is my favorite move. Now it's a deadly move because you got to hit it at the right time. You
Yeah.
mess around, hit it at the wrong time, you get
It's
folded.
over for you.
Yeah, it's over. So we had our little drag route. I had my drag route, and like at the time, call it for what it is. I couldn't run routes back then. I didn't really start running routes until like college. But I had the little drag route. I kind of weaseled my way in there, and Noah like put the ball in my chest. And at the time, I had a habit of like making a move before I even got the ball, which to this day I don't, and this ain't even me bragging. Like a lot of the stuff when I look back, dang, I never realized how it was talent because
Mm-hmm.
most of the time I caught the passes, I never looked the ball. I lied to you not, and people don't believe me, but like any high pass or pass like this, I never looked the ball in. It was on some real, like I really lost the ball.
It
But
don't
my
really surprise me though, because when you think about it, like if you look at the way, like I really go back to catching curls or
Mhm.
comebacks, like fake inside, get back outside, and it's like, bro, the way you used to do that shit was stupid, and it was like, bro, like, and it's just like, bro, I'm good, I'm talented in myself, but it's like, how is that? How is he getting the ball and doing it that fast? Like,
Yeah.
so I can understand, like, I can
Yeah,
understand it,
like
like,
I tell people all the time, you look like if you was to look at my highlights on Huddle, it was a pass that I had caught like this. It was way in front of me, and I like caught it, but I literally put my
yeah,
hands
look
out.
at,
And no cap, like most of my passes game, I didn't start learning to look the ball in until college, but I put my hands out and I caught it. It was like these mugs, if it's near, it's gonna
yeah,
catch. So like I say that to say I had a little drag route and Noah like put the ball on me. But before I even caught the ball, I see the defender caught it and spent off the defender. And like a lot of that when it comes to me juking, like I don't think I can like shake people juke. I'm not a juke person, but I had more of a stick 1-2. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
But that spin move was like deadly. So once I start being able to like juke and really get in my bag, that's when I knew like, yeah, I'm unstoppable. Like they can't stop me. And so this goes into like me wishing I was more vocal because I would have told Willard if I could, we're not going to overtime. We about to I think that's where we
I
messed
agree
up.
with you. I agree with you 1,000%. When we need the ball and win in the overtime, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did Willard used to say? Whenever you let a team hang around,
Yeah.
that's how you lose
That's how
football
you lose.
games. That's how you
or
lose football
when
games.
you
And I
don't
think
score, when you need to score, that's when you don't
and
score.
then I think who was our kicker that year? Was it Logan or was it
Nah,
Cameron Lischke?
Logan was junior.
Either way,
Senior year was Will.
oh Will. Either way, we had a kicker that had a leg.
Yeah, facts.
Bro, I think because we were on like maybe it was like the 35 or the 40, but I
We
think
was
we
on the
could have
40 going towards the end zone.
going toward, bro. I think we could have gotten
Yeah,
at least to their 30,
100%.
35, and we could have kicked the field goal. Like,
100%.
and we had a kicker that could make that field goal.
Yeah,
Like, we had
100%.
kickers that, yeah. But
And I think that's where like like I said, I don't remember that game a lot, but it's like points that I remember.
I do.
And so
Watching it, I do.
I
I
definitely
do.
remember Willard, and at the time, I could see the concern in his face. And that's where I wish like I was vocal to tell him, hey, trust in us. You know what I'm saying? And so when we called the huddle, I saw him doing this, and I was just like, gosh, we about to go into overtime.
But these are the things that I be telling, like, when I like, I'm gonna sit down with Todd and I like talk to Khalid and like these other people, like, I'm like, bruh, it's like, this was like the real, and I could be wrong, but like, it's decisions and it's moments like this where Willard and Horton, like, they grew as coaches, and like, that's what allowed them to win state championships and go back to back. But it's like they had to mess up then, but like, damn, did that hurt? Like,
man, listen, man, that jump hurt. And I think the reason why it hurt so bad is because not taking nothing from the teams that, won states after us, congratulations. You know what I'm saying? East side. But that was definitely the turning point.
Team.
Like that.
That 2015.
Yeah, 2015 was the team to like really do it. You know what I'm saying? And when you compare the teams, not saying that team was less talented or nothing like that, but I do believe that team, in a sense, as far as authority, in a sense, as far as like showing like we are
getting off the bus.
You feel me?
The people that's getting off the bus, like,
dang, like I really think we were the peak, like other than 2012. But 2012 was just over OD. Like 2012 was just OD. Like they was just the big road. Like you can't help that.
Yeah.
So after 2012 team, I definitely say like
that's why I say it's a few. I say like it's probably like 4 or 5 teams like before they won states that should have won states, and they go back to it started in 2008, 2012, 2015.
Yeah.
And like it's probably like 1 or 2 more teams in there. But like them the years that's like
we were supposed to. Yeah, and I think that's why it hurt so much because, like I said, it was 2012, which was like, okay, they're destined to win.
Yeah,
and they did it. And then that whole process until 2015. So it was like you go from 2012 to 2015, and you see like, oh, this is the team. Like we're the ones, and so I think another reason why I hurt because we had the whole city behind us. Game to the point where I'm hearing 102 jams like, we against Charlotte. The whole team, like, bruh, they probably would have threw us a pep rally.
Yeah.
And
if we would have won that game, bruh,
like,
I don't even think
we would have had no assignments that whole week of school.
But like, that's what I be telling people too, bruh. It's like we really went to a football school. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
The experiences that we had, like we really went to a football school.
I'm gonna do one better. It was really on some. We was living a movie or like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a show. We was living a show, like a Friday night show. Like from going to school to being the best in football to going and having
in the city.
You feel me? Best to having parties, you know what I'm saying? Like
to having, I swear, like that's outside of football. I swear, we used to be a lit team though.
That lifestyle, bro. That lifestyle of being.
Oh, I tell people all the time, like to be a football player at East Versailles between like 2000, like I don't know really before me, but I came in 14 and I graduated in 18. And I'm telling you, all 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, like face card good anywhere. Like
anywhere.
Bro.
Because they know you. Yeah.
They know you.
You know.
Like, for me, like being on one of the best teams in the city, being one of the best players in the city, like that luxury of being able to move. Oh, Nique, da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? So to experience that, bro, it was a movie. My senior year, I would definitely say it was a movie, and we definitely was supposed to finish the movie off as winners, bro.
State championship. Yeah.
We were,
That's
and then for freaking Page to
just tell
goddamn go and get
get
demolished,
get
bro.
get smacked up like that.
And this
Like
was
after we beat them earlier in the year though, like we really everybody say we had the state championship game,
no, we
but for
didn't.
us to beat Page earlier in the year,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we would have gone and done it again.
Bruh,
Like
and what made me mad is because it was like you said, it was so cold, Mallet Creek game,
it was
and
stupid.
then you go next week and the sun
Sun was
now,
out.
it's
Yeah,
warm, it's a beautiful day. I'm like, yo, it was meant for us to be there, bro.
yeah. We had a real football game though. Like it was
What?
cold. Like it's real football being played out
It
here.
was
Like,
brick out there. It was brick out there. Yeah.
but after this Mallet Creek game, bro, you start like what was your recruiting process for you like, bro? Like you end up going to Palmetto Prep, like,
Mhm.
and so like what led to that decision? And like you talked about
So
your grades and everything. Like
yeah.
elaborate on that a little bit.
So again, bro, like for those who's watching, bro, make sure your grades is where they need to be. And because, bro, like I said, I sold myself short. I didn't have any big offers, any offers for real, other than Central. I think, but I think they came later. So I was looking for a JUCO, and again, me being I ain't gonna say guinea pig, but the first son to ever, go through this process. I was trying to figure out the best route, and so I didn't really know much about JUCOs and things like that. Willard, was assisting me, but it is what it is. So I went to Palmetto. I was going to Gyra Prep at first, and
Yeah.
then Krishan was going to Palmetto, and he was able to get in contact with the coaches and say, "Hey, I got a cousin." Woo. So it was kind of a 2-for-1 deal that I was able to get to Palmetto. That process after, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't the best. I feel like I did waste my time going there. I'm thankful for it because I was able to get Central during that whole process, but at the time, I think it was some BS, and only because I think they were still fairly new. So a lot of my process was being the new or the beginning stage of a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
from going to, leaving high school, being the first one to be going towards college or whatever the case may be, a lot of people in my corner didn't really know how to navigate that.
Mm-hmm.
Then to go to Palmetto Prep, fairly new, whatever the case, not really having a name, established program as far as a proper way to treat an athlete, things of that nature. So after, I think it was like our last game, I can't remember what happened, bruh, but like they really had me messed up because they wasn't playing me, and it was something like, I can't remember what it was, but I wasn't really in the wrong, um, because I left after halftime. I'm not gonna lie, I did, bro, because bro, it was something. It was something that happened, bro. It was something that happened, and like I said, I'm not someone who will be dramatic. I
Nah,
mean,
yeah.
you know the thing they say, receivers are divas or whatever, or
Nah.
the
You couldn't
football
be with
players.
the high school coach that we had. Nah, we
But
weren't going for it.
so like it was something that they did to where they was like, yeah, you're not playing, and I did not like that like at all because I felt like it was
Yeah.
unfair. But
Yeah.
I can't remember. So I was like, bro, they don't put me in by halftime, but I'm gone. I'm not doing this. So they didn't put me in, and I took my stuff off. You feel me? I took my stuff off, and I went and sat in the stands. I stayed because I wanted to cheer my team on, but
Mm-hmm.
like y'all got me messed up for real because that situation, it wasn't really my fault. So after that, I stayed. Then I committed to Central,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, that's how that transition happened after high school with Palmetto Prep.
So what was it? But you was talking about a transition to Central. What was that
Mm-hmm.
like for you? What was that like?
It was
Being
fun.
at Central.
it was fun. 2017. My freshman year, we had these two receiver, Murph and David was the dog, and my boy Jalen was all talented. That was the receiver room right there, and I looked up to them boys as big bros, as receiver big bros, and I had my coach called Coach Gales, and this is freshman year, trying to figure myself out. I had 85.
Hmm.
You know how I feel about numbers though, but
Yeah.
85. And then I was thugging it out. Um, I met my homeboy Chauncey. He was like my dog at the time. Quarterback, the starting
Hmm.
quarterback, and it felt good because that was my bro. Like my bro, he was my roommate, all that. Like my best friend. And what's crazy, he actually was at that Mallet Creek game my senior year.
Mm.
So he already knew who I was. So once I committed, like he hit me up, was like, "Oh snap, bro, Central, da da da. We gonna make magic, whatever the case may be." So that was fun. That was cool because like I got introduced to Central with already having my best friend as the quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So like whenever I did get in, I know that he would be looking out for me, things of that nature. So from my freshman year, it was pretty cool. To my sophomore year, and did they came sophomore year? Cause junior, yeah, I think sophomore year. So after my the seniors left, I was like, yeah, it's my time. It's my time. Like I'm about to be the man, whatever the case may be. So my homeboy, who's actually my bro to this day, came from NC State. And I would never forget how disrespectful my coaches were. So we got there and it's like practice. We like practicing in the gym, walkthroughs and whatnot, right? So
Hmm.
I'm already thinking it's my turn. I'm about to be with the ones. So my homeboy come from NC State. They was like, yeah, hey, Dede, you take Nique's spot pretty much. So I'm mad. Like I'm like, yo,
Oh, they.
like, yo, what's going on? So, um, so yeah, so like I was upset about that, and that whole effect of they thinking I'm being a prima donna or whatnot. I really don't care about that at that point because like I'm like, yeah, nah, I didn't give y'all no reason to not put me in the starting lineup. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah,
was upset
exactly.
about that, and then it was funny because how like everything really trickled down because my quarterback and they had a relationship. They played high school together and stuff like that. So I'll never forget the first game. And keep in mind, we all became bros tight afterwards. It was our first game. First game, and this was I can't remember, but like it was like a bowl game in a sense. Like HBCU give like every like a team the big game of the year. And so it was like a big game. We played at Georgia State stadium. So we was playing Austin, no, not Austin Prairie View, team in Texas or whatnot, yellow and purple. But we playing them and stuff.
Prairie View A&M.
Yeah, Prairie View
Yeah,
M&M.
gotcha.
And so, bruh, that whole game, my homeboy quarterback, he ain't even looking for me. He trying to force
Nah,
feed
that's
Day Day.
crazy.
Look
Nah,
like, and this is where I start getting mad. And this is when Day Day, I realized Day Day was a real one because the quarterback tried to give Day Day the pass with three defenders on him. Like,
mm,
so like trying to force feed him. So they came back to the sideline like, nigga, it's three people on me. Look for somebody else.
yeah.
So, going through that phase, and then after that game, we all start working out together, start building chemistry and stuff, and then I started to develop my skills and becoming the player that I was. To by my junior year, I was the guy. Unfortunately, I got hurt, pulled my hamstring, which was like season ending for real. I
Mm.
couldn't play. And yeah, so after that year, I transferred because it was a lot of things outside of the football team that I guess persuaded me to want to transfer. And After that, I transferred to NC State for a semester or two, and then I had to get cut from NC State because they didn't take my credits from Central, so I was deemed ineligible to play at State. So that's how I ended up going back to Central, graduating. I ain't gonna throw nobody on the bus, but it was a lot of bullshit that happened
Yeah.
during that process. But probably another time, another day, I go in depth. But a lot of BS happened, and I graduated. I was able to find out that my clock was running, so I couldn't play D1 no more. But I still had a year eligibility for D2. So that's when I graduated, went to Fayetteville State. Around this time, not gonna lie, because after State, I kind of was in that whole year and a half before I got to Fayetteville. I was kind of doing a lot of stuff on my own, so I didn't have really a lot of the proper workout regimens, meal plan regimens. So I was doing a lot of stuff on my own. Thankfully, I did have people in my corner. My uncle Brian, he's with Perform Max. He has his own therapeutic company, which is very good. I highly recommend it. If you ever see this, I want to thank you because I wouldn't have got to where I was without his assistance. He used to look out for me, you know what I'm saying? Give me the dry needling, whatever I needed as far as maintenance. And so I'm very thankful for that. But with me, like I said, doing a year and a half by myself, I really was just out there winging it. So I could definitely tell that I was on the decline end of my football career, which is sad because going from high school to Central and to get to the point where it's like I can feel it in my body that I'm on my decline. Like I'm not making the same moves that I used to make, and I'm the uncle now. You know what I'm saying? They used to make jokes. I was the uncle
Yeah.
at Fayetteville, but it bothered me a lot because, like I said, coming from being that top tier athlete that I was to now I can barely move the way I want to move. It messed me up mentally, because I was such a class player to where now it's like, all right, boom. At this point, I'm gonna just enjoy it. Because that whole process, I just wanted to put shoulder pads on and a helmet, you know what I'm saying, and be able to be out there. That's where I kind of developed my mindset of just enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? Willard said something that always stuck with me, where it was like, your best days, these are going to be some of your best times. High school football,
Playing high school football.
it's free. Like you're free. You're just being you. And so once I started realizing I was on the decline of my athletic ability, I start developing that mindset where it's just enjoy it. At the time I had my brother, Khalid was at Fayetteville, and I would be impressed. And keep in mind, so even after that hamstring problems, ever since I tore it or whatnot, I still had hamstring problems.
No, yeah, them soft tissue
The
injuries,
soft tissue, you
they
feel, ain't
linger.
no joke. So that's where I knew, like, I started to decline athletically. My hamstring would still give me trouble at Fayetteville and stuff, and so I started to realize, like, I'm gonna just enjoy it. Have my brother here, got my bros here. We enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? And then that's where I finished the year. Kind of got in some trouble outside, which I'll probably talk about it one day. But some bullshit happened at Fayetteville State, which caused me my last year eligibility, unfortunately. And yeah, so after that, football was written for me.
I get it, bro. It's like I get it, man. Some people get the opportunity to walk away from the game. Some
Yeah,
people get the game taken from them. Like
yeah,
it's, but were you on that team that won the CIAA championship?
yeah. I was.
Okay,
I
so
was. I
you talk
was.
about enjoying it. So what was that like? Like
It
you,
was. It was a good feeling. I didn't really get to immerse myself in it because, like I said, I wasn't. I had gotten in trouble, so I wasn't in the game. I wasn't in the process. You know what I'm saying? I was watching from the fans, the stadium, you know what I'm saying? So I enjoyed it. I was happy for my team, but I didn't really get to immerse myself in it, you know what I'm saying? I would have definitely rather been the unk who, you know, just did his part and won versus being the person in the stands watching and seeing my team win, which again, I was happy for him. But yeah, it was all right. I mean, I was happy for the team. I was happy for the coaches. Long overdue,
Yeah,
but I really don't got no emotions attached to that. You know.
attached to that. Yeah, yeah. No, I get it. I get it, man. But looking back at your journey, like outside of being like more focused on your grades and stuff in high school, like what I guess two-part question. What would be the biggest lesson that you've learned? And
Mhm.
then what would be some advice that you would give to younger athletes outside of like making sure that your grades straight? Because
All right.
your grades are the most
Yeah,
important thing. If you ain't eligible, you ain't
you ain't
eligible, my
playing.
boy.
I would definitely say, enjoy it. You know, especially if you in high school, if this your senior year, if this your junior, or you just started your freshman year, enjoy it because those are going to be the best years of your life when it comes to football. You're not necessarily now depending on your program or whatnot. You know, you get more into depth of learning coverages because I didn't learn coverages until I was in college.
That's
But
crazy to me because I learned them. I learned coverages my freshman year in high school. I mean, granted, I was playing quarterback, but I still learned
yeah,
coverages. Like,
see, me, I didn't learn until college. And again, that's where I realized, and I'm gonna get back to that question. I realized that my journey was only into means because I didn't care. As good as I was, I didn't care about the sport. I never watched football.
hey, yeah,
People, when it comes to watching film, and that's where my downfall was the IQ part of the game. You give me the ball, I go make a play all day. But like, I never cared for it as far as wanting to study it, wanting to learn it, the ins and outs. That's never been me. So I would definitely say that was my downfall. Now back to the question, what would I say? Enjoy it. You know, enjoy it. Learn as much as you can. Create as many memories as possible. Immerse yourself in it. You know what I'm saying? Because if I could go back, I would definitely enjoy that my junior year with my big cousin more. You know what I'm saying? I would soak those days and those games in. So yeah, like enjoy it, enjoy the process. Grades, I just gotta throw that in there. But my main big one, I would say find something, find who you are outside of the sport.
that's real.
Rather it's basketball,
That's real.
football, soccer, find who you are outside of. You will save yourself a lot of depression and sad and dark days by doing it.
I don't think I don't think that's talked about enough though.
No,
Like, I don't mean to
it's not.
cut you off,
It's not. I'm about to get
but
started right
being real, all right. But just being real, like even after like I tore my ACL 3 times, but like I ended up going to Howard and like not really being able to play football no more and really having to find my way. Like it's real crazy when you go from being in the city, going to a school where, like you said, your face card, everybody know you.
now. Yeah,
Like you know any and everywhere you go to. Like I'm in DC, bro. I'm walking around campus. I'm a nobody. Like I'm just somebody else walking around. Like and so like that's real. Like you got to figure out who you are, what kind of path you're gonna take, and what's gonna be your purpose outside the sport.
outside.
But
And like you said, it's not talked about enough. When it's not talked about enough. I mean, I think that spotlight is starting to become more prevalent because athletes who made it to the league or didn't make it to the league, and you got the college athletes who were superstars but didn't make it. They're starting to tell their testimonies about what it's like outside of the game, and if you can start early in developing who you are outside of your sport, I think, like I said, you'll save yourself a lot of depression because those were some of the saddest days of my life,
yeah,
because
yeah,
I played football since 5. You know what I'm saying? My identity was Nique, the football player. And
football player,
though,
yeah,
yeah, though my mom, I had certain families that, gave me an ideal of who I was outside of it. Me I'm going to the league. One track
Yeah. In
mind,
your head, yeah.
especially because I know I'm good. Everybody else know I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm going to the league. I'm not worried about anything else. Transition into me going to college. So I graduated. I graduated communications. I'm thankful for it. But I kind of did take. I ain't gonna say communication is easy. Nothing's easy going into college. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I did choose a more comfortable
Hmm.
avenue because I'm thinking of going to the league. I'm thinking of I don't
Football.
want to
Still
be.
playing football.
Yeah, I don't want to go. I don't want
Hmm.
no big workload. I don't want to. I got practice. Da 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 da. If I started to develop who I was early age, as far as high school, what do I like? What are my interests? I think I would have been far better, or my journey wouldn't have been so much of a like bumps and roads. You know what I'm saying? I mean, trials, tribulations come through everybody's life, but I think I would have been able to navigate a lot
Yeah.
better after the game was taken from me because I would have developed from high school to that point. It was taking who I am, my identity outside the game.
Yeah.
So I definitely would say, bruh, find what you like, find who you are outside of the game, bruh, because I personally, like I said, it was some dark days, and I wouldn't want nobody to go through that. And if presenting this message can prevent kids and the generation to come to not experience that, that's what I would want to do. So that's my message,
Yeah.
bro. Find out what you enjoy, find out what you love outside of your sport, because at the end of the day, that sport is going to be going to be done, rather it's taken
Eventually, yeah.
or, what I'm saying, you just retire, but you can't play the sport forever.
Yeah. But I think that's real because I think, like, yeah, like you were saying, we're getting more. There's more focus on mental health and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But like,
exactly.
we don't. I don't think it's really talked about or focused on enough from like the athlete standpoint because like even when you go into college, it's like even if you are still playing football, you got to think about the people that's like you might not be getting the playing time that you think you want,
Mm-hmm.
or like you might not be. You went from being that guy to not even like you
Not
just
even
a
touching the
practice
field.
player,
Yeah,
and
facts.
and it's like the way that they can really weigh on you mentally, especially when you got one goal and dream in
Yeah,
mind, like you think that's what you're gonna do. But like it's also like I think especially in our community though, like you got everybody around you hyping you up. Like nobody really
the
focus
other
on
side.
that either because they see how good, like you said, everybody else telling you how good you are too.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody else they right with you because they like, oh, when you make it, oh yeah, I was with you
I
when
was
you
with
was,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. So
and
yeah, like
and that's where like I it helped me grow a lot because all the aunts and uncles and stuff or cousins, my homeboys, when football was gone, like
they was still there with you though. Like
nah.
oh,
I,
they
I
wasn't
feel like it switched a little bit. Or
really.
to me, I probably in that moment of darkness, I did feel like a failure. So I definitely could have distanced myself. Well, not could have. I definitely distanced myself because I felt
Yeah.
like I failed. Um, and so, but I didn't feel like I had that same support in a sense. When I wasn't doing football,
Hmm.
but yeah, it definitely helped me become the man I am, and I'm thankful for it because I can give my testimony and help the
That's real.
next Nique to
That's
come
real.
about. Because at the end of the day, if I could tell my past self, focus on you, focus on what you like, and find something that you enjoy outside of the game. Find your passions. That's what it boiled down to.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. That's real, bro. But let the people know what you getting into now. Like what's next for you and where they can follow you and stuff.
what's next for me now that I'm over that phase? I'm working in the field, mental health field. I'm thankful of. I've always had a spot for helping people, and so I can kill two birds with one stone. You know what I'm saying? As far as the business avenue, as well as helping people. So right now, I'm in the mental health field, working on that, and that's kind of my foundation. Once I get that side executed the way I want, I'll probably go back to school. but I'm also on the side as far as like hobby doing music. I always had a talent for music, but I was a football player. It was definitely outshined by me being a football star. But I'm tapping into that. I enjoy those type of things as far as making music, content, fashion. I enjoy fashion. I try to put that shit on. Um,
Yeah.
so that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I'm thankful that I did take the process that I did because it helped me, like I said, become the man, develop the mindset that I have. Um, I'm working on and focusing on myself. I'm focusing on my purpose. And so I definitely got that foundation of security that I was looking for. Because after the football, I didn't know what I was going to do.
Hmm.
And I think that's what made a lot of the dark days darker because it was like, what do I do now? But now I'm in that comfortability of I know what I'm doing. Yeah.
It isn't.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, but like that also, like I think being, because I 100% understand where you're coming from, but being like as good as being good at something, like even though you do go through those dark days and stuff like that, it teaches you to have confidence in yourself and
Facts.
like know that like you're gonna be able to get through that. You're
Yeah.
gonna be all right.
100%. 100%. So, like anybody that see this, bro, like just make sure you know who you are outside the
Yeah,
sport. You know what you want outside the sport. And you put goals and contingencies in place in order to reach those goals. Like I said, I wouldn't have thought like after football I would have been pursuing music. You know what I'm saying? Or I would have been in the mental health field. I wouldn't have thought that. You couldn't have told Nique back then, like, yeah, you about to be here. And like I said, right now, I'm thankful that I moved the way I did because I don't have no kid right now where it's like I gotta force myself to do certain things, you know what I'm saying? Or I gotta have
mm,
that survival mentality in a sense.
yeah,
Like all I have to do is focus on myself right now. Focus on God, focus on myself, and chase my purpose. So yeah, I'm at a happy place. I'm in a good place, a great mindset, and I think that my journey was my journey because I had to go through who I was without football because I never
that's
focused
real.
on that in the back.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Talk about it. Yeah,
definitely develop your identity outside your sport. That's the main takeaway that I want people to know, because I think I could have even been further along than where I'm at now if I would
mm,
have identified my identity back then in high school and college, and pursue the things that I'm actually interested in and not so football focused. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, that's where I'm at. If you want to listen to my music, I got more music coming soon. You can follow me at Function FUNXTN. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm at right now.
Hey, bro, we appreciate you for getting on here,
Thanks for
sharing
having
your
me, brother.
story with us, man. Hey, if you got value from that conversation, make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Go.
Hey, drop a name of who you think we should interview next. Make sure y'all go follow Nique. Man, we'll catch y'all on another episode.